Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L here to talk about One Piece, chapter 1135, recording this on January 8th. Because we're in that weird period in January, I believe that the next One Piece chapter will be coming next week. So about next week around the 13th, 14th is when you're probably going to start seeing spoilers. Anyway, chapter 1135. I think this chapter is a little bit heavier than the other chapters in terms of content density, which actually makes it pretty fun because we can talk more about it. There's like more things going on in the background. I'm cooking up some theories I have. I think they're very reasonable. Don't know if I got them ready for this video, but we'll get into it here. So let's just dive into it. Or should I say general stuff? General stuff, I think the chapter is perfectly alright. It's a nice get information type chapter. Cool. Jumping into it. So first thing we find out is this owl that's on the screen. It's actually super old, and it's the reason why the library works the way it does. Now, I know like One Piece fans were getting excited because they thought that Elbaf had some unique technology, and to me, like, the obvious answer is to say like it's some devil fruit shenanigan, right? And mind you, devil fruits might be technology at this point. Who really knows? But devil fruit shenanigans, that's what makes sense to me. Now, the interesting wrinkle here is that we found out that this guy has been here. Sorry, I'm looking for the notes on my page here. Yeah, he's been here for centuries. Now, mind you, you have a situation where you have a giant that we know is 400 years old. So I think this is probably really corroborated. But now that we have an animal... Okay, let's just start here. This guy being able to activate his thing, affecting books in this library, first off, I think it's awakened. I think the Grow fruit, if that is what it is, I think this owl has an awakened version of it. I think there's an awakening effect, and it's affecting this whole little range. That's why it automatically happens the moment the book goes in there. I think this owl is always awakened. And now, because we have an animal showing up here, and it looks pretty giant, I think this might be in the realm of Zunisha. If it's super old, and it's an animal, I'm gonna have to assume it's like Zunisha, and that probably knows Joy Boy. If this thing knows Joy Boy, one of the big questions we have to ask is, would it react to Luffy? Would it react to Luffy on sight? Later on in the chapter, we do see that Luffy enters the library. I don't see... I'm looking at that page now. I don't see that Luffy is talking about the owl, I think. Yeah, I don't see Luffy talking about the owl. So my big question would be, it can't recognize Joy Boy on sight. So I wonder if the heartbeat starts bumping, if it's going to react. If it reacts, then yeah, that'll be probably the way we deal with this. If it is a Joy Boy animal companion, but at this point I think it is. Anyway, we get other little cool details. It looks like Chopper is going to be picking up some knowledge here, which is neat. You know, Chopper ultimately saved the day back in Wano, like saved everyone from that virus. So way to go, Chopper. So he'll pick up more stuff here. We find out more information that Muse crews do not go to places that are not affiliated with the world government, which is really interesting because I just thought Morgans would care. But we see that they get around it by giving them to fishermen. So that actually might be the way Morgans gets around that little rule. And finally, the big thing is that in the Viz Media translation, we have Vegapunk saying they're going to be setting down roots. That's technically in another page, but good, cool. Just further confirmation that Vegapunk's base of operations is going to be in this area. I'm a little bit sad because I did want Vegapunk to join the Straw Hats, but whatever. Probably be there for the final war, so that's alright. Okay, so the next page is just pretty much fun. There's nothing really important about that other than characterization. Honestly, Luffy's not really my favorite here. I know Luffy is a wild child. I'm not 100% a fan of it. I think Luffy is fully deserving of the beatdown that Nami gives him on this one. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, it does give us that nice little moment with Colin. So with this page, what do we really get? It's just more characterization. We have Colin getting really excited. We get like the very quick characterization that Colin isn't super popular here. He's not going to school, as we find out in the next page, though his mom doesn't care. Like, she probably cares about warrior generation, so she doesn't care. Overall, cool characterization. I truly hope that we don't go into a plot where like Colin's talking about how lonely he is because no one else is like him or something like that. I wouldn't really feel it. I think it'd be totally fine if he's just independent. He just kind of lets it all slide off of him. Again, his mom seems super supportive, right? So I really hope that we don't have that kind of situation. Also, Viz Media had the kids not really pronouncing the words right. Um, that just makes him feel kind of like more pathetic, and I feel a little bit bad because I'm kind of gonna agree with Luffy that they're kind of lame, but like, yeah, giant kids. Hopefully, this plot doesn't do anything annoying. You know, that's all I ask, Oda. Okay, so on this page, actually really neat. We find out that Quillen's a half giant. He looks perfectly fine though, and we find out actually we have a pretty mature thing going on here with Ridley and whoever her husband is. I did see someone pointing out that Rayleigh married a former empress of the Kuja. Like, would someone else of the Roger crew end up marrying a giant? Makes sense. Anyway, we find out that Quillen's dad used to be a pirate, and so at that point, like, the most common theory is that it's Scopper Goben, or whatever his name is. Apologies if I mispronounced it, don't have it in front of me, so I don't really remember how to do it, but Scopper. People are saying that it could be him. At first, you know, okay, like, there's a lot of things that now pops up. Is Scopper on the island? Or let's say, is the dad on the island? I would say probably, because this girl's calling herself a common law wife, right? So like that kind of implies that he's around enough to complain. We have that he used to be a pirate. We see that there is someone walking on the island. Now, personally, I was kind of hoping that was going to be Shiki somehow, because it's just like a lot of his design looks like Shiki's design of the person that's walking around in silhouette, in my opinion. But maybe it's Scopper. Maybe that's him, or maybe it's both of them are on the island. Who knows? But the mystery gets more exciting. Anyway, with this whole thing with their relationship, though, I think it's super cute. I wish we could have more of this. I'm happy with this era of One Piece. Again, that was like one of the nicest surprises in the chapter. Anyway, we have good comedy here with Ripley punishing on one hand and celebrating on the other. Ultimately, very cute pages. Really made it worth it. On the other side of the spread, we just have everyone setting up where exactly they're going to be. So that's going to be interesting because, well, you know how One Piece goes. They split up the crew. It makes it easier to get matchups. But the thing is, who's going to match up against Frankie if he's checking out the jewel tree, right? Interesting stuff. And one of the things that as we go into this, I really, really hope that we don't spend too long not knowing who the enemy is. There are evil people on the island right now. I would like to get that done faster. But it's cool to know where everyone's going. Now at this point we get the customary costumes for the island. It's going to be pretty cool if those are the things that they're going to be fighting in. I did see someone put a post up that Robin and Frankie seem to be... They have design influences from Guild Wars. I believe that's the post I saw. And Frankie is a little bit... I could doubt it, but when you see the way Robin's costume works with the certain design details, and you see the Guild War female variant for the Viking or whatever, I actually kind of wonder if Oda just googled Viking outfits and for whatever reason Guild Wars is the one that popped up. It's just because like Robin's outfit is very close to the costume. I assume for the video game. I'm assuming it's Guild Wars because I'm trying to remember, but I don't really recall. Anyway, we also find out that Gert has the little hobby of making outfits for humans. So I can see why Road likes her so much. They have similar hobbies. Alright, so we move on. The moment that giants are taken for fools. Honestly, I agree with them. They failed as guards. I don't know how they could not hear the ominous thunder that came crushing down. Wait. Aurust Castle. Is that the same castle that got hit? I'm just checking. 1 second. Yep. That looks like the same one. Okay, cool. It's the same one. Anyway, I agree. I agree with the giants. I don't know how they didn't notice this, but they give away that Straw Hat's on the island for sure. We find out that the cloaked people are here looking for Loki in particular. What exactly do they want with Loki? I'm going to assume that. Well, let me put on my brain. Let me think like Oda for a second. Loki's locked up. They don't know that Loki is locked up. They have to ask for directions. They're dicks. Are they looking for a devil fruit? Because then they would be looking for Loki. So I'm going to assume they're looking for the devil fruit. And they're probably going to kill Loki to get it. A la Blackbeard method. I'm going to assume that's what they're going to do. And I'm assuming they're doing it to counter Nika or something like that. That's have no information, guys. But that's the theory I'm going to give you. You guys let me know what you think down below. Now, what's worth looking at here is what exactly did this girl or guy do to the giant? There's a lot of weird things that happen to his design, like his hair is a little bit more wild. We see that the veins are marking up over here. It looks like his whole arm is paralyzed or stretched. He has this bandage here. Does he wear a bandage in the other shot? Well, I don't know, guys. I see no bandages here. Let's see. Can I get you into here? Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Enhancing the image. Are those lines the bandages? Was he wearing bandages? In this shot, it doesn't look like he's wearing bandages. Oh, after looking closer to the whole image, I've spotted something else for you guys to check out. So, if you look over here, he has nothing on his legs. If you look over here, he has these bandages. Very different. Well, it's kind of like Oda's tricky, but we can see that it goes past the knee now. So yeah, no, it looks like he got caught by bandages. That seems to be the thing. That's how she got him, or he got him. Sorry, I keep saying she because it looks like a she, but yeah, no, that seems to be what we're doing here. Okay, bandage powers. Awesome. Awesome. We have visual confirmation of it. So, shot out bandages, took him down. Everyone's confused, talking like a celestial dragon. They're going to torture the information out of them. Now, see, my logical brain says that if there are intruders, someone should sound the alarm. I would also hope that Luffy, the master of detecting emotions, would be able to detect the stress coming from the castle, because, you know, the feast is in Western Village, so I'd like that we're so close, right? But then again, you know, if you're smart, you would kill these guys because you don't want to be you don't want to be like exposed. But then again, are these guys arrogant? And now I have to also ask, does this person have a mythical fruit? Does she have the mummy no mi? Is she a mummy woman? Because that'd be pretty cool. I would love to see a mummy. That'd be neat. I guess it'd be like a human model fruit at that point. Anyway, cool stuff, right? That's pretty neat. I'm into it. That's cool. Of course, the big thing is like the information network isn't very good for these guys, but like information spread in One Piece has never been very good, so that makes sense. Okay, we do our feast. We're in the Western Village as well. A lot of awesome opportunities here. Because we're so close to that castle, I really hope we get to see something really cool, man. I really hope that 136 is going to be amazing. But this page, I don't think there's anything all too important in it, other than maybe seeing some cool character designs. Heck, Panda Man is probably hidden somewhere on this page. If there was ever a moment for him to be hidden, it would be here, right? And then we move into like the second coolest portion of the chapter, where we find out that this guy from Sabaody was actually this guy who's in the crew. So that's awesome. That's neat. I love that. I love that connectivity. One thing I will say is that I went back to these chapters just to reread it, and it's like, wow, yeah, it's been so long, but I really loved One Piece back then. The chapter where he said this was also the chapter where Doflamingo was talking about the age of smiles, I think. So that was pretty awesome, just going through that little blast of the past. And we end off the chapter with this giant here. He's got the sword through his head. It reminds me of the case of Phineas Gage, where he had like a rod. Of course, he didn't have the rod in his brain forever. Yeah, I don't think a fragment of it was in there, but like that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's a funny gag. Cool to have him. He's the guy that we saw in Big Mom's last. He's the guy that we saw in Big Mom's flashback. Cool stuff. Overall, the chapter came in packed with some really cool little moments. I really liked seeing this guy. We had seen him in Sabaody. That's so neat. I enjoyed the thing with Ripley. I believe that I hope I've been saying her name right. I enjoyed it with her, and now that we actually saw that there are bandages involved, I'm kind of happy I took the time to look at that. But guys, let me know what you thought down below. Overall, I think it was a really solid chapter of One Piece with a lot of things going on, very content dense. I'm very excited for what the next chapter is going to be, but I really hope we don't do annoying things. I hope that we are not going to deal with some issue with Colin being half giant, half human. He looks really happy to be who he is. He looks like he has a supportive mother. If his dad's on the island, looks like he has a supportive dad too. I really hope we're not going to see something annoying. And I hope that the whole thing with these, with the Royal Guard or whatever we're going to call them, the cloaked people, doesn't stretch out more than it should. If we have just quick confrontations, I'd be very happy. But guys, let me know what you thought down below. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.